Okay, live from Stage One Creative Spaces Studios here in San Jose. It's the Friends of Rick show, and here's two friends of mine, James and Dan. James, introduce yourself.
James Chung. I've known Taos for about 10 years, both as a customer as well as a employee.
Yeah.
I worked for Taos in the office of CIO.
Up at Riverbed Technologies. Yeah, I remember that, yeah. How you been?
Pretty good, still kicking, and
Yeah.
I plan to keep working until they ask me to go home.
And you're still working at that company in Palo Alto,
Yeah, we're a company called Globality. We're Series E round, raised about $340 million, and we're trying to revolutionize procurement space.
You know, in 1980, raising $5 million was a big deal. Now raising $5 million is like chump change, $340 million.
Yep.
Yeah, and I know we did a lot of business with you and continue, I think, to do business with you.
Yep.
So thank you for all of that. What was your path to Silicon Valley?
Well, I was actually born and raised in South Korea. Came over as a poor immigrant boy at age of 12 in San Francisco, and grew up locally, went to San Jose State, and I've had the blessing and opportunity at Silicon Valley. So I've been at small startups, big companies like Apple and eBay, so very thankful.
If not for Silicon Valley, where would you be today, and how different would your life be?
I cannot imagine, but when I watch that movie, Slumdog Millionaire, I'll be that kid, right?
So
I'm
it
very
was that
thankful.
poor, that much in the streets background.
That's right.
Congratulations, man. That is absolutely amazing. Yep. And it's been a lot of fun working with you, both as a customer and having you be a Taoser.
Yeah,
And
very
speaking
thankful.
of the exact same thing, Dan, say hello to the world. Dan Roncadin.
Hello.
Here we go again.
I don't know if you had a mic back there, I could hear it, but I'm Dan Roncadin. Worked with Rick for close to 9 years at Taos. Came down from Canada and ended up, came here on a one-year contract with a company called Barclays, and ended up sticking around for 15 years. So that's my short story. And after Taos, I went to Google, and still there in the cloud group, leading professional services for the West Coast.
This is the consultant.
Talk about what he did in Taos.
This is the consultant that never went home. And so true story. I could put two consultants to work on an identical project side by side, and the good one would still be there 2 years later, even if it was a 3-month gig, and the average one would be done at 3 months. Dan was the guy that was just always there, always at FRB, always at these places. He left us just as we were about to kick him off on a different project. The client threw a fucking tantrum, man, because they said, we wanted Dan Roncadin, only went with Taos. And we fixed it, but you did some incredible
Thank you.
Work for us. You're a true architect, but an engineer architect. You didn't just talk. You could actually make
definitely
it happen
talked.
and do
I definitely talked.
the business. Oh, you can talk. Yeah.
I learned some of that from you.
Yeah.
And he taught a lot of people at Taos.
And he was a you were just he was the technical guy that was a member of our executive leadership team, right? So he represented 500 billable consultants to the executive staff, and you were the voice for them. And then every once in a while, Dan would be in my office before I got there, and I'd say, shit, I got to give him a raise again. So much fun. We got 2 minutes because these guys have another thing. You each get a question. I wrote these last night, so my apologies if they don't make sense. Out of the Red Hat Linux hat here. Dan, you go first.
All right, this isn't a technical question, is it? Okay. Mark Zuckerberg said that he needed to move Facebook from Cambridge to Silicon Valley in order to scale up, given the access to capital and talent. It's easier for startups to start a company. And if he were starting a company today, he would Valley. Do you agree? I think it's definitely easier than it was 15 years ago to start a company somewhere else. But I think, when you're starting a company, it's really about where you get the absolute best people. And if, in many cases, I think you can still find them here. Whether they'll show up to the office or not is another story. But there's something about this place, there's something about the weather, the people that I think I'd still take a chance and start one here.
Yeah, good for you. So would I. Okay, good answer. Your question.
Okay, it's similar to that. Are we fading as the preeminent tech center? Are we seeing a tech exodus? Oracle and HP have moved their HQ, as has Tesla. I don't think so. I think we do live in now this true knowledge worker society where people can work from anywhere, but there's something very special here. There's the weather, the people gravitate towards here, there's the money and the investment that's here. So I think Silicon Valley is going to continue to be a leader and innovator.
Yeah, I believe it too. That's why I love this place. James Chung, Dan Roncadin, and thank you to all the guys at the studio. You guys were awesome. Thank you. Yeah, this is fun.
All right.
Really fun.
Hey.
Thanks for coming, friends.
Good to see you, man.
From
Good
San
to see you.
Francisco too.